are you seeing? We're flowing. Are you seeing
Oh,
that
we're
countdown for
fine.
the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's a
That's
whole new
interesting. It must
world
be a
now
new
that
thing then that you get to see it as a co-host. I see it every time.
you just made me co-host when we were trying to do the
Yeah. Okay.
record separate. Yeah. It's the
Interesting.
first time I've been aware of it. Could have definitely been in front of my face many,
It's
many
it's
times. And
likely it was
yeah.
one of those things. It's all good.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here. We're live. We're flowing. It's a little dreary outside, as we can see. Not a nice bright summer day.
I love it. We need some rain. I definitely do not mind the overcast and the bit of rain. I don't love it on the weekends, but we had an amazing weekend. We played tennis, we went to the pool.
Nice.
Happy Father. Oh, I'm the worst person in the world.
What? You forget Father's
I
Day?
didn't wish you happy Father's Day yesterday.
It's all right. I'm not your father.
Um, it's so funny when people say that. Well, I'll take a moment right now just to honor you as a dad. Happy Father's Day.
Thank
What
you
did
very
you get
much.
to do?
Nice relaxing day. We got back from vacation Saturday night. So it was just one of those kind of days. Just let it all,
Yeah.
get back in the groove, get back in the routine. It was nice.
What is becoming a dad? What's one thing you thought about yesterday? How it changed your life, or something you look at differently, or one thing you're grateful for?
I really am grateful to be a dad. Me and Mason took a walk in the evening, and I said to him, it's the best job in the world. It really is.
Mm,
It puts into perspective a lot of things you thought you wanted in life, and then you realize, oh, this is actually more important. This is what I'm here to
mm-hmm.
do. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the best thing about being a parent, it's not just being a father, but I think there's more of a thing tied to it as a father, at least from what you see on social media, right? It's you get to have a legacy that lives on beyond you. A lot of the
Mm.
work you do, the minute you pass, no one's going to remember the spreadsheet you made or the process in 20 years. Oh, who's the guy that did this? It's your kids. And Patrick McDavid actually said he had a good post yesterday. And I forget where he got it from. I think it was someone on his podcast. But he said, the measure of a man is really his grandkids, because
Mm.
you'll see how you influenced your children to then be a parent and the effect you've had. And you really won't get to know the measure of that person until they're in their 30s. So really, let's say your kid had a child at 30, and then you have to wait another 30 years. That's 60 years from, let's say, today. If you've just had a child, you may never get to see that. And I think that can be applied to all of life, right? Is what we do now should live beyond us, and
Mm.
we may not be able to see the impact, but you have to trust that it will be there.
Well, you don't even know what a great lead in you just gave. Yeah, you have to have trust, and that's that word faith too,
Yeah.
right? And I'm going to just take the liberty of rolling into another conversation around that trust. And you may never personally see the impact. It doesn't mean that you can't know it before
Yeah.
it happens, which maybe sounds a little existential, but you can know, you can have a desire for the legacy and the impact and the things that you want to do. But I also think that there's another level of knowing that you're doing it, even when you're
Yeah.
not getting direct feedback. And then we get those gifts of direct feedback that just like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what, that knowing is correct. And um, I had a really, really interesting conversation with Ben while we were taking a walk. We're really in the habit of like a 10, 20-minute walk every single night after dinner, most of the time with the kids and the dogs, but we set out on ourselves the other night. And I just closed the house last Thursday, so the house finally closed. No more carrying a mortgage and a Princeton rent. And at one point, I was also carrying a Jersey Shore
Yeah.
rent.
Oof, that was a brutal
Um,
time.
I'm like, fuck, we as
That's
real
one of
estate
those
agents,
where you don't think you're past you.
we
Future you is not thinking past you with some decisions.
yes, yes. So there's a big relief there. And we were talking about money, and I had a loan bill on the table. I took a personal loan, I don't know, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. To me, it's like not a big deal, right? As an entrepreneur,
I
like
was
to me, money
literally just
just,
about to say that. Welcome to entrepreneur land.
right. Like I had a decision. Do I want to sell my Jeep, which I own outright, or do I want to take a personal loan? So to me, the interest rate was really good. It's like I don't carry stress around having a personal loan. It gets paid off. If anything, I'm building my credit. Anyway, just an entrepreneur mind, my comfort level, my comfort level around money, because money comes and goes like all the time. Like
Yep.
I always make it work. Um, anyway, Ben, not snooping, but I had some stuff on my desk that I use at his house, and he saw it, and he's much less risk averse than I am. He was kind of shocked about it. Not that we ever sat down and were like, hey, let's talk about each other's finances, and we share a tremendous amount, but we don't live together. We're not engaged. We're not married. It was never a conversation that had, to me, come up before. I've
Yeah.
certainly talked about where money is coming in. He knew about, my rent and my mortgage and all of that. So it started an interesting conversation. So he was coming from a place of like, are you okay financially? Which was a normal conversation that a little bit vulnerably ended in like, oh my God, I couldn't even think about, marrying you if I didn't know about all of the debt. And I was like, whoa, how do we go from that to like engagement in marriage? Well, first of all, we're not even talking about that. Yes, something in the future. But part of me was like, it's none of your fucking business, dude. And I love him. But I've always been very in control of my own money. So it started this big conversation. Hindsight, him pushing around the podcast was going to bring up. He's like, you guys, you have good content. You consistently push out. I see all these people out there that are making money and they don't even have good content. And I don't understand why you guys aren't monetized. And, how come you're not making money from this? Is this just a hobby for you? When he said that, I almost lost my mind. And he's like, well, that's not an insult. I'm like, it is an insult to me. To us, like we work really hard to be consistent and be authentic. This is not a hobby. And just because we're not making money in, like, we drop an episode, we have a sponsor on the episode, $100 came in from that episode. It's this bigger conversation of how the podcast impacts. I'll walk into a room to speak or present of people that I don't know, but they already feel they know me. And I've someone come up to me and go, oh my God, I'm waiting for you to drop part 2 of you and Paolo talking about parenting and children. I've already got validity. I've already got credibility. That person's much more likely to say, I want to pay to coach with Tara. I want to buy one of Tara's programs. I want to buy one of Paolo's programs. I want to show up to a workshop with them. So it's a big roundabout. I'm tying it back to you just saying that, knowing that faith, that what you're doing every single day is going to have an impact, even if you never see your grandchild. You never get to meet your grandchild and see who they are as an adult.
Yeah.
The work you're doing today, the person, the man, the woman that you are today, is creating that outcome has such bigger impact than like, okay, I did something and I got paid $50.
Yeah. No, the podcast is definitely a great example of that. I mean, if anything, it costs money, right? We've got a host on Riverside, the software that gets edited on and stuff like that. But it's an investment. And I've had similar conversations to that one, right? And
With Amy, and you don't have to go into, because Ben asked that.
no, not with her. It's not even someone I'm romantically involved in or have been. It was people who are friends who are kind of, and again they mean well. Is kind of, well, you've been making money from the podcast, like, how many episodes? And this is my 4th podcast, and it's the 4th one I've gotten to. It's the longest running one and the most episodes, most consistent, and the most following. but it's different. It's a mindset thing, and it's okay that we're all wired differently. You know,
Hmm.
some of us have higher risk tolerance. Some of us have longer kind of, I don't want to say visions, but longer kind of time frames that we're willing to accept to get a return on that investment of time or money. And it's more of an investment in time than anything else. Like the financial side of the podcast is very minimal, but again, it's those little things. It's you don't know the one sentence you say on an episode that's going to trigger something for someone. And I even when we get this to a place where there are thousands of listeners every single episode, I think you and I would be very comfortable in not getting sponsors, and if anything, just plugging our own services a bit more because we don't even really do that.
Yeah.
And some of the bigger, I mentioned Patrick David, his podcast doesn't take any outside sponsors, or all his companies that sponsor on the show.
Yeah.
It's really just a marketing flywheel. And yeah, like you say, getting $50 for plug in some coffee, or even if it's a product we believe in, right?
Yeah.
There are certain things that don't require that investment, or the return on the investment in a monetary kind of way. But again, everybody has their own risk tolerance. And
Yes.
there are many people that would have given up doing this podcast, seeing the numbers that we have
Yeah.
after X amount of. Now, having said all that, I saw a good clip, and I've seen it before. Good clip that Gary Vee reposted of him telling this young woman, like, all right, she was saying, I've done 300 videos on YouTube, and I'm still only getting, maybe I got 1,001, but I'm really only getting a few views on each. And eventually he said, I think you need to stop and change what you're doing.
Hmm.
Now, again, there's a whole conversation around that, right? It's like, why are you doing it? Because even if you're getting 10 views, they could be 10 people that are going to pay to work with you.
Hmm.
I think we get really caught up on the how many sponsors do they have, how many views do they have. I mean, and bear in mind, a lot of the views that you see, you'll see someone's got 1 million views. 90% of them probably didn't even watch the whole video. They probably watched the first 2 minutes. You don't
Yep.
know the analytics behind the scene.
Yep.
So very long-winded thought on that. But the one thing I wanted to say was, I think a lot about the whole not seeing your grandchildren. Now, my mum has been alive while all of the grandchildren so far have been born, but she's not. And there's plenty of things like I love to show her, or love her for her to see how Mason's developing and Braden and my sister's kids. She doesn't really get to see that, right? Because she's not able to. She's in hospice, and you know, the one thing that I really got from my mother as a parent is that fierce kind of belief in your kid, and not letting just like if you wanted to see Mama Bear in action, have some injustice with one of my mom's kids,
Yeah.
me or my sisters, and she would have torn your head off. And I'm kind of the same with the kids. Like I'm very chill, but if you fuck with my children, you will
Hmm.
see a different side of me. And there are a few people who have been and Amy's been on the other side of it. She knows too when we
Yeah.
went through the divorce. Not to say she was doing anything bad to the kids, but
Hmm.
we had our differences in opinions and stuff. But yeah, so she doesn't get to see that impact,
Yeah.
but it's going to be there, and hopefully
Yeah.
Mason will continue that with his kids.
Yeah. We have to let go of it's instant gratification, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's like, and I think entrepreneurs do this really well. Like we've learned the lesson about trading time for dollars. I give you an hour of time, you give me
Hmm.
X amount of dollars. And listen, there's straight coaching. I'm at $500 an hour, right? That's trading time for dollars. But that I never look at it that right, right? Because someone's not paying me 8 hours a day to coach them at $500 an hour. Although I could fill my schedule probably that way. That's not what I'm looking to do. I want to quickly circle back to the monetizing or sponsorship for the podcast, because it's certainly that we're not against it, and it would have to be something that was authentic and resonated with what we believe, even though you and I do have certain different beliefs. One of the things was the thought of adding, going out, and how do you even start looking for sponsors to an already full plate of priorities? That's what, again, entrepreneurs, I believe, have to do well. Is there's a million good opportunities out there, but you can only prioritize so many at one time and really work to completion on so many at one time. Even though to someone on the outside it seems like, well, yeah, you just go try to find how you get sponsored. That half an hour adding to what I already have and we already have
Yeah.
going on, I'm like, well, I'm not asking Paolo to do it, and I don't have the wherewithal to do it, and that was never our intention. Yeah, it's a good idea, but that's the danger of the squirrel mentality. So, well-meaning from the outside, but as a protective entrepreneur, I'm like, you want to support the podcast? Like it. Put a comment. And he's like, well, I don't understand how one person liking it makes a difference. And so we had a little bit of a conversation around that and the algorithms and how much of our content gets pushed out to people that don't actually follow us. So it's that, how does one person make a difference? Which I think is such, this is not Ben's mentality, but I think this is a very dangerous mentality that we live in the world. Why should I care about littering, right? If I throw one thing out the window, how's that going to impact that? If we all had that mentality, our world would be in a much worse place. So if there's anything in your life where you're like, what's the big deal if I do it, right? What's one person going to make a difference? I'm not the Dalai Lama. I'm not, Mother Teresa. We have to move away from that. Like, we have such great impact, and your one like, your one comment, your one pickup. There was trash all over by a tennis court we were playing in. Everyone walked by it. I'm like, trash is all over. The garbage can and the garbage litter right here. I'm so disappointed that all of our children just walked by this. But if I also walked by it, I would just be reinforcing. So I didn't tell them to come back. I didn't make them come and do it. I just stopped and picked it all up, and they all got inside the tennis court, and they were like, oh, we would have stopped if we knew you were stopping. And I'm like, that's not the point, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to think, how many people are walking by this and not doing something about it? And I want you to make that decision to stop and do something. And then I'm going to model that.
Yeah, and I think there's also an idea here. And I've actually been frustrated with people I know who actually have big platforms, like hundreds of thousands of views. And it's not that they owe me anything or that they owe other people anything. And sure, they worked hard to build that following, and it cost them time and money. Just there's this kind of lack of abundance mindset. There's a scarcity idea of, I can't show my audience this because it might take away from me. It doesn't take much. I'll tell the story, actually. Famous music producer, worked with Lady Gaga, all of her big initial hits. Friend of ours, I say ours, mine and Picasso, Heat Seekers. She was a songwriter, an incredible singer. She's like the Nigerian Beyonce. She would have him sleep on her couch, stay with her. He was from another country. I won't say where, so it doesn't give away who he is. Used her phone to call his family back home, etc., etc. All he had to do to take her career to another level is, hey, I got a second verse. Can you come in and just write the lyrics for it? It's 4 lines. The melody's already done. Just write 4 lines. But just having that credit would have taken her career to another level. And not to mention the financial rewards of having some points on a song. Didn't do it. Just an example of and I talk about this particularly in the music business all the time, of no one's willing to reach back and bring people with them. It's like, oh yeah, we're all in this together. And the minute someone pops, oh, I can't. It's kind of what we were saying the other week about, now you're in the tribe. You don't want to let anybody else in case you get kicked out.
Oh, and that's validated when they go, well, I had to work hard. Nobody helped me.
Yeah.
Like, that's a shitty mentality.
Exactly.
Or that lack of abundance, whereas especially in the Western cultures, we're constantly searching for opposites, like, right, life and death, rich and poor. Like, our brains are wired, so it goes, if that person's winning, that means I must be losing.
Yeah.
Right. So if I help that person win, why would I help that person win? Because that means I'm only pushing myself towards losing. It's the mindset of abundance is that there's enough.
Yeah.
There's enough anywhere. Walk into the Short Hills Mall in New Jersey, and there's 3 Bentleys parked inside. There's literally lines of people to get into Gucci and Louis Vuitton and Rolex. People are waiting to go in and spend tens of thousands of dollars. There is an abundance of money in this world, in this universe. But we have, not for this episode, but that the podcast you sent me with George, I don't know his last name, Janko,
yeah.
and Alex Hermosi, and like, would you want peace or would you want money and power? And instantly, so many people go, oh my God, money and power, like that's a bad person. And there's so much negativity around it. And I think that should be our next episode, is actually discussing that very question. Yeah. I do want to say this. As much as Ben and I had a disagreement over it, and it spiraled in a way more controlled way than it would have almost 2 years ago when we first started dating, and we came back to a good place with it. What I do value about him and is important, especially for me, and for you, I'd say we're pretty strong, pretty tough, pretty resilient. I'm not looking for yes people around me, right? I'm looking for support, but sometimes that support does come with a push. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things I value about the relationship, where I'm still going to make my own decision if it comes to something with me and my business. And I'm always thinking about how it's going to impact the people around me. But there's value in the people that are pushing you. Like, don't run away from that. It's going to be uncomfortable. But I did stop and look, and I'm like, okay, well, should we be monetizing it in some way? Should we be looking at sponsors? I don't know. Let me talk to Paolo about this. So I don't think we're going to do anything differently, but it was a good thought to ponder and a good thing to think about.
Yeah, it's good to have I actually had this yesterday. I go back and forth with AI about it, just dumping thoughts, and it's very easy to start questioning what you're doing and things like that. It's good. Sometimes it's good to be pushed and talk it out, right? Mm-hmm. But just going back to the point I was making, it doesn't cost you anything to reshare a clip you see of a friend who's trying to build a business. And I've gone through 4 or 5 different times where I've been trying to build a business online, and it does get a bit disheartening that no one shares. No one's I say no one. There's very few who will share, who will even just referring someone, and it's almost like this fear of my reputation's at stake if I or that person has these views, so they're going to think I'm endorsing them. No, this person just wants to do better for their family. Why don't you share a fucking post they made to help them grow their audience?
Yes.
It's really not that difficult. And if you have a big audience, it's not a big deal to every now and again pimp one of your friends out. It really astounds me. And it's not that my stories are filled with things I'm reposting of people, but I'm always referring my friends with businesses and things like that. I do it now for the gym I used to own.
Yeah.
If there was anyone in that area that needed a trainer, I would send them there 100% of the time, just because I don't own it anymore.
Yep.
I think people are just, there's a scarcity mindset of, I can't, if I recommend that, what's in it for me? And is this going to prevent me from getting anything? No, it's not. It's really not.
It's scarcity mindset, and it's coupled with these people don't believe that they make a difference.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they don't believe that what they do will have impact. And I catch myself too. I'm like, oh, that was a great post, or I love that. And I just go to scroll to the next one. I'm like, oh no, wait, I have to heart that. Right? Like, where there's so much. So when someone that you like, love, kind of like, care about, think, hey, good for them. Ben's like, oh, I don't always agree with what you say. I don't want to post a comment that's like against it. I'm like, post it. Do something. Combat us. I'd love you to. I said, I'd love you to get in a debate with Paolo because I want Paolo to kick your ass. Yeah, it's scarcity mindset, but it also people just don't realize that you have impact. Like, and maybe that's just a belief in your own self. Well, I'm not really on social media. Okay, cool. Then whatever I post, just heart it. Don't even watch it. Just if you love
Yeah.
me and trust me, that's the best way you could support me.
Yeah, and it doesn't take any time. It doesn't exactly. You don't have to even spend the minute watching a reel.
Right.
Just like it.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. I was looking at so Facebook is monetized for me. I'm at 7,000 followers and max friends, whatever. It's really silly. I make very little money off of it. My purpose is not posting there to make money from it.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, and I saw this happen with Instagram, it took me forever to get to 1,000 followers. So I hit 1,200 yesterday. These are small numbers if you're talking social media influencer. My goal is to not to be a social media influencer, but I do want to reach as many people as possible. But what I love about what I can see on Facebook is like 54% of my views, I get between 15 and 25,000 views every 25 days on stuff. 54% as of yesterday were non-followers.
Yeah.
So I have 7,000 out of the 7,000 people, about 46% of the content consumption is coming from them. But because those people are liking or giving a heart or something, Facebook's going, okay, people like this. And then they push it out to non-followers, which is, of course, the real win when you're looking to grow your social media or you're looking to grow a brand. So it's very, very interesting to see what those numbers are doing. Now, this equates to $4 a month. Again, I'm doing it for the money. But I will say this, the stuff that I post that's personal, family, kid stuff, car stuff, those are the ones that get the most interaction. So, anywho, very interesting. And I like an action step, as you know. So as you are scrolling social media today, go find one of your friends who's doing something, whether it's building a business or just being vulnerable and putting their life out there, and blow them up with some hearts. Throw a comment, repost it. Like, you will have tremendous impact.
I have a friend who I know through her husband. We talk more on social media than him and I do. She started a spray tan business. I've been trying to get her to come on here, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get spray tan. I'm always liking her stuff, and I love the hustle. I love the work she's putting in. Amy went and saw her. It was an easy referral. She kind of saw anyway and was going to do it, but I kind of nudged her. Just because it's you may not use that person's service, or you'll ever buy a product from them, it really doesn't hurt you to just refer a friend.
Right. Refer a friend.
There's it's just showing support in ways that doesn't cost you anything. And for whatever reason, people are very, I don't know what it is. It has to be that scarcity mindset. So yes, the action, go and like your friends' posts.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for shits and giggles.
You matter. You make an impact. You will create good for your friend and yourself. And if it's not your friend, but it's just someone's putting a message out that you believe in, this is the modern day world that we live in. We're not in Rolodexes where we're cycling through and saying, here, give this person a call. The way we refer people is through liking them and giving the algorithm, feeding the algorithm, hey, this person has good stuff. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to understand it. You just do it.
Exactly.
Okay. And if it happens to be for us an Alpha Flow podcast, and it means that you subscribe to us on YouTube, because man, I really would love to see those numbers go up a little bit more. That's not for any reason, because I know the impact that we're making, but it would feel good.
Yeah, there's some nice, some gratification there for sure.
Yeah. It would get my kids off my back. Mom, you only have 15 followers on YouTube.
Again, you never know who those followers are, right? That could be the next coaching client.
Yep.
you know,
And
and how much is that
well, I'll
person
say
worth?
one other thing. One of my big corporate clients, and kudos to Ben for encouraging me to put our shorts on LinkedIn, came back to me. We've been back and forth since the end of 2025, and came back to me last week and was like, "Hey, coming back from Japan, and I did a little coach with their potential future CEO that will be taking the CEO's position, and that's just the consistency of being out there
Yeah.
and staying top of mind." So there's a direct monetization there, but yeah, I care about the money. I want the money, but I'm just honored to get to work with these people again. So
Yeah.
it all matters. Everything we do matters. Everything we say
Every
matters.
small thing, yeah,
Yep.
it's going to pay dividends whether you get to see it or society or your family gets to see it.
Yep. And dividends isn't always money. Right?
Impact.
Impact. Knowing we allowed someone to breathe easier for 2 minutes, or that someone made a shift in their life that impacted themselves and their entire family, whatever it is, like that's our wins.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I get back from Florida, something in the air here clogs my throat up. Even if one person who listened to this today or saw a clip of us saying go and like your friend's posts, the impact that that one like might have, because it will show up in someone else's feed now,
Yep.
who will then buy a product or service from your friend,
Yep.
that's worth more than $10,000 for a sponsorship for this episode, honestly, because we're in this for impact.
Yep. And also, I would accept $10,000 for sponsorship of this episode.
Yeah, sure.
All right, it's a wrap. Until next time, friends. Bye for now.